What's up, Molten Gamers? Today we're going to be looking at the new 1.3.1 logic gates and using them to build this cool thing here, a calculator. This is a basic adder calculator. It'll take two binary inputs, which you can see here, and add them up to create a binary output. Now we're just going to show this thing. I mean, it's got some pretty crazy wiring. Don't worry, we won't make one this complex when we build ours. But say we add this and this, it'll go up to the second one. And you can add any combination of numbers, and it will add up to your binary output. So let's hop over to where we're going to build it. Okay, so now we're at the spot where we're going to build it, and for this you're going to need 8 switches, 4 OR logic gates, 8 AND logic gates, and 8 XOR logic gates. This will be enough to build a 4-bit binary adder calculator. You're also probably going to want a grand design and a bunch of wires. A multicolor wrench or all 4 wrenches will work, but we're going to need all 4 colors to be able to do this. So we're going to start off by throwing down our 2 inputs, which are going to be our switches. We'll throw down a spot for more switches. And then we're going to build our first module. Now this first module, I'm honestly not sure this is going to be enough room. Let me just remove this top real quick, because we honestly don't want it there. Okay, so our first module is going to have an OR gate at the bottom, and we're going to have a lamp on top of that. Then we're going to have the AND gate, no. There, 1 second. Okay, so I was right. We need the AND gate here. And then we're going to want to have 2 lamps, an XOR gate, and on top of that XOR gate, we're going to have 2 more lamps. Blah. Yeah, I'll just use my UFO. Much easier. And then for the second part of the bit module, for each bit we're going to have 1 module. You're going to need an AND gate down here, I believe is the right spot. Then we're going to have 2 lamps, an XOR gate, and 2 more lamps. And right there, that is our first module. Now we're going to start building more modules, enough for 4 bits. So we'll throw down another XOR gate here. And then we're going to put on the 2 lamps. And we're just going to keep doing this until you have 4 of these little modules. Okay, now that we have each of these 4 modules done, we're going to have 1 space here, and then 3 spaces here for in between each module. You're going to want to start wiring this thing up. And to start that, we're going to wire up our first input, like so. And we're going to want to wire it up for the lamp for the OR gate and for the XOR gate. And then, so that we're able to have these 2 things next to each other, we're going to switch over to blue wire on the bottom. And then we'll wire it up to this next water module. Skip this one for now. Go over to this next one. And just do that. And wire up the inputs next to each other for all of them. Like this. And there we go. Wire that up all the way to the last one. And then we'll do the red for this one. And there we go. Now we're going to want to wire it up using yellow and green for this top one, because this is our second input. If we're adding 2 numbers, we of course need 2 numbers to add. So this will be our second number that's being added. So just wire this up to the other lamp, coming down on the left here. Then we'll switch over to green and do the next one. And then we're going to want to do this for all 4 modules. And then switch over to yellow, do that, put that there, and then the green, we're going to want to put that there, bring that over there, bring that down, and there we go, we have all of those wired up. Now we're going to want to wire up this to this. Okay, so we'll grab our grand design. And depending on which one we're wiring up, we'll use the opposite wire that we used on the bottom. And by that I mean, for this one, since it was red, we're going to use blue. We'll wire this XOR gate up to here. Whoops, wrong one. This XOR gate up to here. And then do the same on this one. wire it up to here, and then we'll switch and do it on the red ones for the ones that have the blue wiring. We'll wire that up, and then over here we'll wire that up. For the next lamp output, we are going to want to use the opposite that was used on the top. So for this one, yellow was used on the top, so we're going to take the output from this XOR gate, bring it down here, and we're going to hook it up going here and here. But we don't want to connect that, and I believe, yeah, I did that the wrong way. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I said that we wanted to use a different one. We want to use the same one because we're wiring it up from the bottom of this up to the next one. We're going to take it from this OR gate down here, bring it down here, around this blue wire, and then wire it up to power that AND gate and this secondary XOR gate. And we're going to do the same for all of the rest of them. So for the next one, we're going to use green because it was wired with green on the top. Wire it here, pull it down here, and wire it up. Just wire, please. Bro. Okay, take the XOR gate here, wire it up for this one and this one. And then there's the output for the AND gate and this little lamp here. For that, we're going to simply use the opposite of the one used on the bottom. Oh, whoops. Don't want to place that. Actually, I didn't want to place the yellow wire. Poop. Or this is getting very poopy, to say the least. Okay, I fixed that. I was placing wires where I shouldn't. Just wire that up to the bottom, just from this AND gate to this lamp, and then go up to the next one. We're going to switch, do the same thing, switch, do the same thing, switch, and do the same thing once more. Stupid freaking Wyvern, trying to mess up my project. Okay, one little change here. As you can see, this thing didn't connect to that logic gate. We actually want that to connect. So add a little wire there for all of these. Shouldn't really take long. See, just super quick. And if you want, we can cut this out, this extra piece, and that's fixed. So then finally we have our XOR gate output, which will be the output for our magical computer on the top. So we're going to go ahead and use a different type of wood than I used down here, because I'm too lazy to go get the right type of wood. And you're just going to build something up here that we can place our output torches on. Okay, now you're going to grab your torches, throw them down over like that, and then we'll have one extra torch over here, and that's since we have these two numbers, if we maximize both of them, then 4 digits won't be able to hold the number, so we're gonna have this extra one on the end, and you'll actually go ahead and this output right here, you'll just wire directly up to that torch, and use the wrench and not the wire cutter. There we go. One more thing, we're going to want to probably, I mean, this is just a personal preference, but you'll want to take a wire, wire it up to all these torches, go ahead and flip it, and we're going to go ahead and break all that wire, and break this. That way these torches are off, so whenever the output comes on, it turns the torch on instead of turning it off, because that gets a little bit confusing when you invert it like that. Then we're going to just use some red wire, make some wire go up there, and power that torch, like so. Do the same thing for the third module, and then we'll switch over to blue and do the second and fourth module. There we go. And, oh wait, that's hooked up to the lamps. We don't actually want that. We're going to go ahead and break that. Yeah, break that. Don't break the blue one, like I just did. We need that. Okay, just remove those wires because we didn't want them on these lamps. We're going to have them come out to the side, and then we're going to have them come up so that they don't interfere with those lamps, and then you can just hook them up to your torch like that. So we'll just wire this down, hook it up to the lamp, and do the same thing for the second and fourth modules with the blue wire. There we go, have it come out, make sure it doesn't interfere with those lamps. And there we go, all of them are hooked up. So now, we're finally done, and we can test this out and hope I didn't completely mess something up. So as you can see, there's one, and another one, yep, 2. Yep, 1, 1, and 2 makes 4. And it looks like it's all functioning properly. It's nice. Very, very nice. And just to test one more thing. Yep. Once you add all of these plus one more, it's just enough to fill up this digit. That's working all nice and well. And there you have yourself a 4-bit calculator. It should make all your calculations work perfectly. And just how we built this 4-bit one, you can very simply wire up the extra ones, wire up the extra modules just like you did with the first 4 in a system like it was made right here. I didn't want to make this whole thing on video simply because it would take so long. And yeah, all that complex wiring, it's just tedious. I figured a 4-bit calculator would be really the same. If you want to make your own, you can just add on the extra modules, add the extra switches, and wire them all up like you did with the first 4. So that's how you make yourself a calculator. And now if you just wanted to make it, then you can go ahead and leave the video, or I mean you can stay for this part as well, but now I'm just going to be doing a little bit of a breakdown of exactly how this is working, because it's even a bit complex for me to understand. So we'll start by looking at our first 1-bit digits, or our first 1 digits, and this is going to be called A, this one here is going to be called B, to make it easier on you guys. And if we flip on A, then what it's going to do is this red wire is going to follow through, and it's going to power these 2 logic gates. Now this is an AND logic gate, and since only one of them is being powered, nothing's going to happen. This one is an XOR logic gate, and since it's an XOR, and only one of them is being powered, then it is going to power this XOR logic gate, which powers this XOR logic gate, which outputs and powers to the torch, which is equivalent to the one that we entered. Now if we enter for A and B, since this is an XOR logic gate and both of them are powered, it's going to say that since both are powered and that's not exclusively one or the other, then the output is not going to be on. But since the AND gate has both of them on, it's going to be powered. And this AND gate is going to output to this right here, OR gate. And this OR gate says that since at least one of the lamps is on, it can go ahead and put power all the way up to here. And this is going to power this XOR logic gate, and it's going to power this, which, since it's only one of them, will not power this AND gate here. And the only output coming out is this XOR logic gate, because it's been powered by one. This traces all the way back to here, and it outputs to that torch. Yeah. Once you get into this binary and calculations and stuff, it gets pretty complex. But after some practice, looking through it all, it becomes a little bit easier to understand. And as we flip both of these off, there's no output coming to any of these, so nothing happens. Now as for when this thing gets powered, as soon as we throw on this one extra, the output is going to flow through all of these. This AND gate gets turned on because of both of these, which carries over to this, and then since both of these are on, this AND gate carries over here, and since both of these are on, then the AND gate carries all the way over here, and since this AND gate is on, it carries all the way over to the end. So it just carries over and over and over until it's finished calculating. And the nice thing about these new logic gates, as you know, calculators were made before by people like Joe Price / Diceman X. He goes by both names depending on whether you're on the forums or YouTube. But he made things like this using Hoiktronics, and now what he fit in probably hundreds of blocks by hundreds of blocks, you can fit in like a 10 by 20 block area. So now that it's so much more complex, people like him are going to be creating some pretty awesome stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for people like that, and I'll hopefully be making some awesome stuff too. And that's it for this episode of Terraria. Leave a like and subscribe, and have a nice day.